everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we've got an upper intermediate level lesson.
That's right, we're gonna go and buy shoes.
Okay, this is very fun. I like buying shoes, although I have a hard time finding shoes in my size sometimes. But we're here talking about men's shoes specifically.
That's right, we've actually decided to talk about this topic, buying shoes, separately between men and women's shoes, because I think each type of shoe it has its own type of vocab, and that can be very useful for men or women.
That's right, so let's take a listen to today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment to talk more about the specifics of men's shoe styles.
Hi, I'm looking for a pair of shoes for my son.
Sure thing. Here we are. If you're looking for dress shoes, we have several different styles of Oxford for boys. We also carry athletic shoes, hiking boots.
Oh, Jacob, how about these sneakers?
Mom, they've got Velcro.
Well, then how about these? What is this style called?
They're tennis shoes. They're very popular with teens and young adults.
Ooh, Mom, can I get these?
What are those?
They're Chuck Taylors. Everyone has them. Can I please?
I don't know. Would they go with your clothes? The backs are really high, and the way the tongue just sticks up, they're almost like a boot. And the sole doesn't look like it would have a very good grip.
They're only $45. And they've got cool fluorescent orange shoelaces. Mom! Mom!
Okay, try them on.
What size are your feet?
Here's a size 9.
We'll try a size 43 on you first and see how that fits.
A what?
They come in European sizes. He should be a size 43. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. So as you saw, we have a lot of different shoe styles. And so we're going to take a look at these on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, first up, we have a very popular style of shoe. This is called an athletic shoe.
Okay, athletic shoe. Now, I imagine that athletes wear these shoes.
Good guess, Marco. So athletic athletes. This is actually for sports in general. So this is sports shoes, but in English we say athletic shoes.
Okay, so it's not specifically for any type of sport, but they're just comfortable shoes that you can do most sports in.
Right, like running shoes and basketball shoes and soccer shoes. These are all kinds of athletic shoes.
Very good. Okay. So these types of athletic shoes, they're usually they're kind of low, right? They don't
That's
have
right.
a lot of support around the ankle.
No, but they do have a lot of support in the heel,
In the heel.
bottom of your foot.
Right, because you're running, you need that extra support.
Exactly.
Now, on the opposite, if you're going hiking, if you're maybe trekking, then you need a special type of shoe that's going to give more ankle support, and these are called hiking boots.
Okay, hiking boots. So like you were saying, you get a lot of support in your ankle. That's the back of your foot and the area around your leg. So these shoes tend to come higher on your leg. They're taller on your leg. And they're usually pretty heavy.
Yeah. And I think they are more weather resistant. So if it rains or if it's wet, these shoes will respond better.
You're not going to get wet feet.
You're not, yeah. And so hiking boots. And now we have another interesting word. I never really understood it, why they're called this way, but we have sneakers. Sneakers.
Okay, I love sneakers. I always wear sneakers. A very common brand that you see with sneakers is Puma. Also Adidas.
Right.
So Converse is another brand. Sneakers are shoes that are not fancy. They're not like leather or work shoes, but they're also not athletic shoes because you don't necessarily use them when you're playing sports. They're basically very simple shoes for, normal daily
Just
stuff.
Normal walking.
Young people wear them usually.
Okay, sneakers. Now, I never understood why they're called sneakers, because I think if you sneak maybe on someone, I guess these shoes are good for sneaking up
Perhaps.
on people.
I don't know. They're less noisy than other shoes.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we have sneakers. And now another type of shoe that can be a little bit confusing. They're called tennis shoes.
Okay, tennis shoes can be considered a kind of sneaker. Again, it's not the kind of shoe that you would normally wear to work. It's not leather. It's not a hiking boot. They're low shoes, so low ankles generally. And they tie up,
Right. But it's you would think that you use these shoes to play tennis,
Not
but
necessarily.
not necessarily, right? I mean, you don't have to play tennis. Oh, they're not specifically designed to play tennis.
No, perhaps originally they were tennis shoes for the game tennis, but nowadays they're very, very common. They're like sneakers.
Right.
They're shoes that most young people wear to school or to play around in.
Okay, so they're kind of yeah, like you say, a sneaker. And now moving on, these might seem a little bit strange, but we call them Chuck Taylors.
Chuck Taylors, well, basically Chuck Taylor is a brand.
Okay.
Converse, Chuck Taylors. We also call them Chucks. And this is a style of shoe that this brand made very famous. They're very, very thin canvas shoes. So the fabric is not leather, it's canvas.
Okay.
And they come in bright red or black or green.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of them are very low, and some of them have a piece of the ankle that comes up.
So it almost looks like a boot to a certain extent, but it's not like a hiking boot. It's not very hard. It doesn't support your ankle as much. It's just the style is higher.
Exactly. And so because these are made of fabric, they're very thin, they're very light, they're not very good for hiking, for example.
Right. So these are called Chuck Taylors. They're very, very popular with teenagers, right?
That's right. Teenagers all over the world wear Chuck Taylors.
And I think they're very old. This style, these Chuck Taylors have been around for like 30 years.
I think since the 1960s or 70s.
But they're still popular.
Yeah, and they haven't changed.
They haven't changed. Right. So these are the 5 types or styles of shoes that we're going to take a look at. Why don't we move on now to more specific vocab related to the parts of the shoe on Language Takeaway Part 2.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so Jacob is talking to his mother, and his mom wants to know, hey, how about these sneakers? What do you think? And Jacob says, Mom, they've got Velcro.
Okay.
So, Marco, what's this Velcro Jacob speaks of?
Well, as you can see, Velcro is capitalized, right? And so that means this is a proper noun, and it's actually a brand.
Okay, it's like Chuck Taylor's.
Like Chuck Taylor's. So Velcro is supposed kind of like a zipper, right? A fastener. But instead of zipping it up, you just put 2 pieces of cloth together and they stick.
Okay, and when you pull them apart,
They make that sound, yeah.
they make a loud sound. And so sometimes with baby shoes or young children's shoes, we don't want to tie them because that's too hard. So we have Velcro. This is a kind of fabric, like you said, that sticks together. We don't have to spend all this time tying things. So you see Velcro on hats, on gloves, on jackets,
Right.
on shoes. It's a very popular way to make things, close things, or to keep things secure.
In a very easy way, right? You just
Very quick.
push them together and that's it. They're sealed.
Exactly.
So the next time you see it, now you know that it's called Velcro. I imagine in other languages it's probably called the same thing.
well, right. It's the brand name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. And, well, now moving on to the parts of the shoe, we have the tongue.
Okay, well, think about the body part, the tongue,
Right.
right? When you look at your tongue, it's straight and it's flat and it kind of curves at the bottom.
Right.
Well, on a shoe, when you're putting your shoe on, you know, in the front of the shoe can make it stuck, you have to pull the tongue.
Right.
It's a piece of fabric or piece of the shoe where the top of your foot is.
Yeah, very good. So that's called the tongue. Now, some shoes have a very small tongue or a low one, and others have a very high one. Like, for example, Chuck Taylors, they have a big tongue.
That's right, very long tongue. And so the tongue is the part that rests on top of your foot, and usually the shoelaces are over the tongue.
Exactly. And now moving on to the bottom part of the shoe, that's called the sole.
Okay, S-O-L-E, sole. This is a really important part of shoes. I always look at the sole before I buy a pair of shoes because this is the part that you use the most because you're walking on the ground.
Right. So, for example, hiking boots, they will have a very high sole and they will have kind of like a pattern so that you don't slip if you're walking on dirt, right?
That's right. Sometimes rubber sole. But other times, like Chuck Taylors also have a rubber sole, but it's very thin.
It's very thin. And some shoes, for example, they have a plastic sole maybe because they're used for other purposes. So they might be a little bit slippery if you go onto a smooth surface.
Exactly.
So the sole, that's the bottom part of the shoe. And the last part of the shoe that we're going to take a look at, and probably the most important, are the shoelaces.
Shoelaces. So shoelaces are basically long pieces of string that you use to tie your shoes closed, because you want your shoes to be tight on your foot. You don't want it to be too loose, otherwise it might fall off.
Right.
And Chuck Taylors and some other shoes are very famous for having crazy colored laces, or
Right.
for people using crazy colored laces to tie them up.
Right, so that's the part they use to tighten the shoe with. So on the opposite, if a shoe doesn't have shoelaces, it's probably going to have Velcro.
That's right, Velcro or shoelaces.
Okay, so those are all the words that we have for you today. Why don't we go back and listen to the dialogue for the last time?
Hi, I'm looking for a pair of shoes for my son.
Sure thing. Here we are. If you're looking for dress shoes, we have several different styles of Oxford for boys. We also carry athletic shoes, hiking boots.
Oh, Jacob, how about these sneakers?
Mom, they've got Velcro.
Well, then how about these? What is this style called?
They're tennis shoes. They're very popular with teens and young adults.
Ooh, Mom, can I get these?
What are those?
They're Chuck Taylors. Everyone has them. Can I please?
I don't know. Would they go with your clothes? The backs are really high, and the way the tongue just sticks up, they're almost like a boot. And the sole doesn't look like it would have a very good grip.
They're only $45. And they've got cool fluorescent orange shoelaces. Mom! Mom!
Okay, try them on.
What size are your feet?
Here's a size 9.
We'll try a size 43 on you first and see how that fits.
A what?
They come in European sizes. He should be a size 43. I'll be right back. All right, so talking about shoes, you say that you always take a look at the sole. Why is this?
Because I'm always afraid that my shoes are going to wear out, and I don't buy shoes very often. I love sneakers. I love my Pumas, and I love flat shoes. And so when you buy a pair of shoes you really like, you don't want to buy another pair in 6 months. You want to get a pair that has a really good sole so that will last for a long time.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I think for me, yeah, that's probably one of the most important parts is the sole, as long as it's comfortable, because some soles of some shoes can be very rigid.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit uncomfortable to walk with. And but I don't know. I don't really have that many pairs of shoes if I think about it.
Well, most people have one fancy pair of shoes for special occasions, and then a pair of work shoes that are leather,
Yeah.
and then maybe a couple pairs of sneakers and
Yeah.
some sandals for the summer.
So, but you have sandals and you have flip flops, or are they the same?
Well, sandals is basically a kind of shoe. It's an open shoe that you wear in the summer. Flip-flops are a kind of sandal.
Oh, okay.
So they usually have a V in the front, and that's where you put your
Big toe and the second toe.
Yeah, so we wear them in the shower or at the beach. They're usually made of plastic or rubber so that you can get them wet.
Right.
But flip-flops are a kind of sandal.
Yeah, very good. It's very interesting how many styles and types of shoes. And actually, for men, I think it's not that complicated. But when we get into women's shoes, then we'll see a
man.
lot of different things.
There are too many styles. I can't keep track.
All right, so that's all the time we have for today. But we'll see you guys on the website if you have any questions, any doubts, or if you just want to chat with us. We'll see you at EnglishPod.com.
See you guys there.
All right, bye.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A shoe used as a component of formal wear. Dress shoe. A canvas shoe with a pliable rubber sole. Tennis shoe. The flap of material under the laces of a shoe. Tongue. Way of grasping and holding firmly. Grip. A long, thin material used for fastening a shoe. Shoelaces. The underside of footwear. Sole.
Let's try that faster.
The underside of footwear. Sole. The flap of material under the laces of a shoe. Tongue. Way of grasping and holding firmly. Grip. A long, thin material used for fastening a shoe. Shoelaces. A shoe used as a component of formal wear. Dress shoe. A canvas shoe with a pliable rubber sole. Tennis shoe.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Tennis shoe. I love tennis shoes because they're comfortable. I can wear them every day, and when I go out, they still look great. Tennis shoe. Tennis shoes used to be very plain, but now they come in many different colors and many different styles. Tennis shoe. My tennis shoes are old and ratty, but I still love them. Tongue. I put my foot back in my sneaker, pulled up the tongue, tightened my laces, and I kept on running. Tongue. The tongues of these shoes keep falling down. Tongue. The shoe tongue is supposed to keep the laces from rubbing against the foot. Sole. The soles of my shoes were starting to wear down. Sole. I went to the cobbler and got him to put rubber soles on my shoes. Sole. After dancing for several hours, the soles of my feet were sore. Grip. My new sneakers have a much better grip than my old ones. Grip. My shoes lost their grip and I slipped on the polished floor. Grip. As I was climbing the tree, I lost my grip, fell, and broke my arm. Shoelaces. In the Olympics, the shoelaces of one figure skater broke in the middle of his performance. Shoelaces. My brother got me pink shoelaces with Hello Kitty on them for my birthday. Shoelaces. My mom tightened my shoelaces, made a knot, and then told me to go play outside.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine, and today we've got a great show for you. We're talking all about music.
It's a great topic. I think everyone loves music, and well, there's so much type of music out there, so that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Exactly. So there's a little bit for everyone here. Even if you hate rock music, there might be something in it that you're going to be a fan of.
Right. So before we get started on the dialogue, we have a couple of words that we want to preview, so let's take a look at them now in vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
All right, so this word sounds a little bit funny. It looks like it should be pronounced differently. We say genre
Genre.
or genre.
This kind of sounds French. Is it French?
I think it comes from French. It's a GE word, so genre. It's a soft sound.
And what's a genre?
Well, a genre is like a category. So you could say genre of book or genre of music.
Oh, movies also have genres, right?
Yeah, they do. It's like horror movie is a genre.
Okay, or action or suspense, etc. So we're going to be looking at music genres on this occasion.
And some of these genre names actually have abbreviations. They're long words that we say in short forms. And this kind of abbreviation is called an acronym.
All right, so that's another word that we're looking at, acronym. So an acronym is a short version of a long word?
Yeah, usually it's just letters. Like USA is a very good acronym. It means United States of America.
All right, cool. So there are some acronyms as well in music, so that's what we're going to be looking at. And many other things, I guess, like DNA is an acronym.
Yeah, DNA is an acronym. UN is an acronym.
All right, great. So we're going to be looking at different genres of music. So let's listen to our dialogue for the first time. We're going to listen to a game show where people have to name the song and the genre.
Welcome back, music lovers, to I Love That Song, the game show where we test your musical knowledge to the extreme. Let's get started. Team A, guess this tune.
I'm carrying your love with me.
Carrying Your Love with Me by George Strait. The genre is country music.
You're right. 100 points to Team A. Now for our next cut.
Night long, let me see. Thong song by Cisco. I believe the genre is R&B.
100 big points for Team B. For all of our viewers, the acronym R&B stands for Rhythm and Blues. On that note, DJ, play our next song.
It's just the radio.
Superstar by the Carpenters.
And the genre?
Adult contemporary?
That's right, 100 points. Uh-oh, that sound means it's double or nothing. The songs are more difficult and the points are doubled. Let's hear our next song.
Too easy. That song is Kingslayer by the Finnish power metal group Nightwish.
You are correct. Very impressive, Team A. And it seems we have a tie. It's time now for the tiebreaker round. Each team will be played 3 songs, and they must tell us the genre of each song in less than 5 seconds. Team A, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's hear it.
Hip-hop, classical, and gothic metal.
You're right. Team B, the pressure is on. If you get all of them right, we will move on to sudden death. If you miss one, you lose. DJ, let's hear it.
Rap, disco, and
Fun show, Marco. I kind of think I'd be good at this kind of game. I might win big.
Well, there were a lot of different types of genres in there and a lot of different music. I don't know, maybe not very popular. Like, for example, country music. I don't know if many people outside of the United States actually know about this.
Well, there might be different kinds of country music, but, you know, in America, one of the most famous country music musicians is Garth Brooks. And even if I didn't like his music, I grew up hearing it everywhere.
But you don't like it?
You know, it's one of those things that I like some kinds of country music, but it's a huge genre. That means there's lots of different kinds of music within country.
All right. Well, let's take a look at more of these genres and now in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so we talked about country music.
Yeah.
Now, this is mostly in the United States, right?
In the South especially, because there's a long tradition of country music in the southern United States.
So it's very characteristic to have guitars and
A little bit of twang, maybe.
twang. What is twang?
It's a way of saying a word. So I could say, I'm from Texas, or I could say, I'm from Texas.
That's twang.
That's twang.
So kind of like an accent, a southern accent.
Yeah, so Garth Brooks has a famous twang. I got friends in love. You know, that's a very famous song of his where he's twangy.
Very southern.
Yeah.
All right, so we have country music, and then we saw another genre, which is R&B.
Okay, this is a little bit more up my alley. That means this is more of an interest
All right.
of mine. Yeah.
And R&B is an acronym for...
Rhythm and blues.
All right, so the R&B that we know now, what would be some examples of those artists?
Well, a really famous artist is John Legend, who's been touring the world with his new album, and that kind of music is R&B. So we're talking about a kind of music that mixes jazz traditions with rhythm. So that means drums and bass.
Okay.
Dum, dum,
Right.
dum, dum. That's rhythm.
So you have rhythm and blues. So, like the name says, R&B, very popular nowadays. Oh, and then we moved on to something heavier, something more like rock style, which is metal.
Metal. Okay, I'm not really sure why they call it metal, but metal is a very, very popular kind of music.
So it divides into different categories, right? In this song, we saw that it was power metal.
Yeah.
But you also have like heavy metal.
Well, because metal is such a broad category, it's a big category,
Yeah.
it's hard to say what certain groups are unless you're really a fan and you follow, but there are many different kinds of metal out there, and so if you're interested, I would check it out on Wikipedia.
Yeah, or let us know if you know what's the difference between power metal and gothic metal and electronic metal. So there are so many different types now. But moving on to our next genre, we also saw something that everyone probably knows nowadays, and that's hip-hop.
Yeah, hip-hop is a great and very interesting kind of music. It grew out of a lot of people who were listening to jazz in the late 80s, especially in New York, I think, Brooklyn. And it's kind of interesting in the sense that you take these old records, these old vinyls, and you slow everything down.
Right.
Right? So you change the speed. So a normal song goes from dum, 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 dum to dum, dum, dum,
Yeah.
dum.
And then you had like some bass in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then some lyrics, and you have yourself something like hip hop. So a very famous hip hop artist nowadays would be 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Or, for example, also Nelly, right? Another
Yeah.
famous hip hop artist.
Yeah.
So we have hip hop, and well, it's kind of similar, I don't know, very similar to rap almost.
Yeah, but it's different in that the way that the process for making this kind of music is quite different. Yeah, rap tends to be very lyric heavy, whereas hip hop is very beat heavy, I think.
Right. So interesting. Now we've seen a lot of these different genres, but of course there's so many more that we can't really look at all of them in one single podcast.
That's what our website's for. You can put your favorite music genres up on our website and practice your English.
Exactly. So, well, why don't we listen to this dialogue for the second time? Let's slow it down just a little bit, and then we'll come back and look at some more phrases.
Welcome back, music lovers, to I Love That Song, the game show where we test your musical knowledge to the extreme. Let's get started. Team A, guess this tune.
Carrying Your Love With Me by George Strait. The genre is country music.
You're right. 100 points to Team A. Now for our next cut.
Thong Song by Cisco. I believe the genre is R&B.
100 big points for Team B. For all of our viewers, the acronym R&B stands for Rhythm and Blues. On that note, DJ, play our next song.
Superstar by the Carpenters.
And the genre?
Adult contemporary?
That's right, 100 points. Uh-oh, that sound means it's double or nothing. The songs are more difficult and the points are doubled. Let's hear our next song.
Too easy. That song is Kingslayer by the Finnish power metal group Nightwish.
You are correct. Very impressive, Team A. And it seems we have a tie. It's time now for the tiebreaker round. Each team will be played 3 songs, and they must tell us the genre of each song in less than 5 seconds. Team A, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's hear it.
Hip hop, classical, and gothic metal.
You're right. Team B, the pressure is on. If you get all of them right, we will move on to sudden death. If you miss one, you lose. DJ, let's hear it.
Rap, disco, and
So it isn't a true English pod lesson if we don't give you a couple of phrases and words to make you sound more fluent. So that's the purpose of this next portion of our show.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so the phrases that we're going to look at now on Fluency Builder are the ones that we saw in the dialogue, but we can use, of course, outside of music or outside of a game show. And there was an interesting one that he mentioned when he said double or nothing.
Double or nothing.
It's double or nothing.
Well, this is an interesting phrase because it, I think, comes from gambling and betting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a way for us to say, well, you could double your money, but if you have a bad answer, if you lose this round, you don't get anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess, you do see a lot of people say maybe they're betting or they're playing a game. That person loses and says, okay, let's go double or nothing. So give me one more shot to win back my money.
Right. So if I say, okay, Marco, you need to tell me the capital of Brazil. You have $50. If you get the answer right, you get $100. But if you get the answer wrong, you get 0.
Right. That's double or nothing. All right. Interesting phrase. What else do we have?
We've got a great one here called tiebreaker.
So a tiebreaker.
Yeah, a tiebreaker. It's a thing. And sometimes in games, some people have the same score. They have the same amount of points.
So they're tied.
They're tied. A tie means you have the same number. And if you want to win, you need one winner. You have to have a tiebreaker to decide.
So it could be a question, or like we saw here, a tiebreaker round.
Yeah.
So to decide on a winner.
And this is all or nothing because if you get the answer right, you win. If you don't, you lose. It doesn't matter if you were tied before.
Right. All right, a tiebreaker. And we have one more phrase, and this one is really interesting. The pressure is on. So if I say the pressure is on,
it almost sounds painful.
Yeah, it does. Well, does it mean that I am being pressured, or what is this?
Well, so it's a good question. The important thing to look at here is the word on, because pressure has this kind of companion word to put pressure on something or to put pressure on someone. And so it's the way we say it in English, and it means that you're going to really take things seriously from this point on.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, the Chicago Bulls were at the peak, the height of their fame, and they were just a wonderful team. And oftentimes, you'd hear the announcers say, there's 5 seconds left on the clock. The pressure is on Michael Jordan to win the game.
All right. So the opportunity for the team to win all depended on Michael Jordan.
Right. So the pressure, all of this stuff is on him, his shoulders. So he has to score the point to win the game.
Okay. This is a very interesting phrase. Why don't we take a look at some other examples of how we could use the pressure is on?
Example 1.
Carl is really stressed out lately. The pressure of the entire project is on him since his promotion.
Example 2.
The pressure is on the president to guide his country out of the recession.
Example 3.
The pressure is on our entire team to successfully come up with a new product for the Asian market within a month.
All right, great examples, great phrases. I think it's pretty clear now, right?
It is, and to make sure that we understood the whole dialogue, I think we should take another listen to it at a normal speed. And when we come back, we'll be talking a little bit more about one of my favorite topics, music. Welcome back, music lovers, to I Love That Song, the game show where we test your musical knowledge to the extreme. Let's get started. Team A, guess this tune.
I'm carrying your love with me.
Carrying Your Love With Me by George Strait. The genre is country music.
You're right. 100 points to Team A. Now for our next cut.
All night long, let me see that.
Thong Song by Cisco. I believe the genre is R&B.
100 big points for Team B. For all of our viewers, the acronym R&B stands for Rhythm and Blues. On that note, DJ, play our next song.
It's just the radio.
Superstar by the Carpenters.
And the genre?
Adult contemporary?
That's right, 100 points. Uh-oh, that sound means it's double or nothing. The songs are more difficult and the points are doubled. Let's hear our next song.
Too easy! That song is Kingslayer by the Finnish power metal group Nightwish.
You are correct. Very impressive, Team A. And it seems we have a tie. It's time now for the tiebreaker round. Each team will be played 3 songs, and they must tell us the genre of each song in less than 5 seconds. Team A, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's hear it.
Hip-hop, classical, and gothic metal.
You're right. Team B, the pressure is on. If you get all of them right, we will move on to sudden death. If you miss one, you lose. DJ, let's hear it.
Rap, disco, and
All right, so we have music, different music genres. Which one are you mostly into?
That's a hard question. I have very different interests. I like classical music. I also like jazz, but I also like rock, and I also like R&B. So
I guess it depends on your mood. Huh?
Absolutely.
Now, they say that music does really influence people's moods.
They did a study, some doctors in America did a study to see if heart patients, people who have heart problems, could be positively affected by music. And the results said that yes, it can be helpful.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So maybe it helps them relax or...
Yeah, it says if you're listening to the radio and a song that you like comes on the radio, you hear this song, your heart pumps more oxygen to your brain.
Wow.
So it means it actually makes you happier.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What about when they play music for unborn babies? Like they'll put little headphones on a mother's belly and they'll play like classical music because supposedly it'll make the baby smart.
It's like baby Mozart or something.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think talking to kids and giving them books when they're little probably helps a little bit more, but I'm not a doctor, so that I can't say.
Well, many people do argue now that they don't make music like they used to. I guess they say that, music that was made before, the lyrics were more profound. They were real musicians, they were composers, and they wrote lyrics. But now you just get a lot of temporary music that doesn't really transcend into the future. What do you think?
I totally disagree. I think the last 10 years have seen a really amazing growth in the music industry because more people are communicating. The internet allows us to hear all sorts of things from all over the world. And so we have great musicians who can listen to music from Mali and they can listen to music from India, and they have all these different influences that were not there before. And so I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of new pathways in music have opened up because of the technology revolution.
Wow, interesting. Well, what do you guys think? Listeners, come to our website, englishpot.com. Leave your questions and comments and tell us what you think. Do you think maybe music has become better in the last decade, or do you think maybe it's not so good? Well, you do have bad artists, right?
You always have bad artists. Yeah.
So,
it's the bad ones, they fade into history. You never hear from them again. So
the power of music. Music is a gift. It is a language that everyone can understand. It speaks to the heart, not just to the ears. Music is all around us. It is in the sound of birds, the rhythm of the rain, and even in the beat of our hearts. It makes life beautiful and brings people together. There was a boy named Adam. Adam loved music. He lived in a small village where life was simple. Every morning, Adam would wake up to the sound of birds singing outside his window. He called them nature's musicians. Their songs made him feel happy and ready to start the day. Adam did not have a lot of money. He could not buy fancy instruments. But he had a small drum made from an old box and sticks. He played his drum every evening. His friends in the village loved his music. They would gather around him and clap their hands to the rhythm. One day, an old man came to the village. He carried a guitar on his back. The man sat near the market and started playing his guitar. The sound was magical. Adam was amazed. He had never seen or heard a guitar before. He wanted to learn to play it, but he felt shy. The old man noticed Adam watching him. He smiled and called Adam over. "Do you like music, young boy?" he asked. Adam nodded. "Would you like to learn the guitar?" Adam's eyes lit up. "But I do not have a guitar," he said sadly. The old man laughed. "You don't need one to start. You can learn by watching and practicing with me." For the next few weeks, Adam spent time with the old man. He learned how to hold the guitar and play simple tunes. The old man taught him songs about love, kindness, and hope. "Music is not just about sound," the old man said. "It is about feelings. When you play, you tell a story." Adam practiced every day. His friends and family noticed his progress. They encouraged him to keep learning. Adam began to dream big. He wanted to share music with everyone in the village. One evening, Adam and the old man planned a small concert. They invited everyone in the village. Adam played his drum, and the old man played the guitar. People clapped, danced, and sang along. The music brought smiles to their faces. Even the elders, who rarely showed emotion, tapped their feet to the rhythm. After the concert, the old man handed his guitar to Adam. "This is for you," he said. "Keep playing and never stop sharing music." Adam was speechless. He hugged the old man and promised to make him proud. From that day, Adam's life changed. He became the village musician. He played at weddings, festivals, and even on ordinary days to bring joy to people. Years later, Adam grew up and became a music teacher. He remembered the lessons from the old man and taught them to his students. "Music is for everyone," he said. "It connects us. It makes us feel alive. Music is more than just entertainment. It heals sadness, celebrates happiness, and helps us express emotions. It is a bridge between people, no matter where they come from." Adam's story teaches us that music is not about having expensive instruments or perfect skills. It is about passion, practice, and sharing joy. Whether it is singing, clapping, or tapping your feet, anyone can make music. So, the next time you hear a song, remember its power. Let it move your heart, and if you can, share it with others. Music is a gift, and the world needs more of it.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. A kind of literary or artistic work.
Genre.
When a person pretends to play the guitar when listening to music.
Air guitar.
Abbreviations.
Acronym.
To sing without any instruments or music.
A cappella.
Extra time to determine a winner after a tie.
Sudden death.
A demand by an audience for an additional performance at the end of a concert.
Encore.
The outcome or result depends on you.
The pressure is on.
A part of a song repeated after each verse.
Chorus.
A person or thing that gains wide appeal or fame.
Hit.
Used when you want to bet twice as much. Double or nothing. Let's try that faster. To sing without any instruments or music.
A cappella.
A part of a song repeated after each verse.
Chorus.
Extra time to determine a winner after a tie.
Sudden death.
A kind of literary or artistic work.
Genre.
When a person pretends to play the guitar when listening to music.
Air guitar.
A demand by an audience for an additional performance at the end of a concert.
Encore.
A person or thing that gains wide appeal or fame.
Hit.
The outcome or result depends on you.
The pressure is on.
Abbreviations.
Acronym.
Used when you want to bet twice as much. Double or nothing. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Genre. I think mystery is one of the most fascinating literary genres. Genre. I was reading in the newspaper that there are over 200 music genres in the world. Genre. My family doesn't like to watch certain movie genres such as horror, musicals, and action. Acronym. Did you know that LASER is the acronym for Light Amplification by the Stimulated Emission of Radiation? Acronym. The most well-known acronym in the world is OK, although people still aren't sure what it stands for. Acronym. ATM is a well-known acronym for Automatic Teller Machine. The pressure is on. The pressure is on the president to guide his country out of the recession. The pressure is on. Carl is really stressed out lately. The pressure of the entire project is on him since his promotion. The pressure is on. The pressure is on our entire team to successfully come up with a new product for the Asian market within a month. Sudden death. The soccer game is in sudden death now. The first player to score wins the game. Sudden death. We went out to a bar last night to watch the football game. The winner was decided by sudden death. Sudden death. What an exciting volleyball game that was. I can't believe the game was decided by sudden death.
Double or nothing. Double or nothing. Double or nothing. Hello everyone and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have a very painful lesson for you.
That's right. Today we're going to go to one of the worst places for me. We're going to go to the dentist.
Okay, so the person in this dialogue has a pain in their mouth, in the tooth area. So let's take a listen to this dialogue, and when we come back, we'll be talking a little bit more about it.
What seems to be the problem?
I have a really bad toothache. My cheek is swollen and I can't eat anything.
Let's have a look. This doesn't look too good. I think we may have to pull out your wisdom tooth. It's pressing against your molars, and that's one of the reasons you're experiencing so much pain.
When you pull my tooth, will you also have to extract the nerve and the root?
First, we will take some x-rays and see what we're dealing with. I also noticed a small cavity up front here, so you are going to need a filling.
I guess that's what I get for not flossing or brushing my teeth 3 times a day.
It could be that. Or maybe you are eating too many sweets. In any case, I'll administer an anesthetic and you won't feel a thing.
All right, we're back, and obviously we're going to take a look at a lot of vocab related to going to the dentist and experiencing a little bit of pain. So let's take a look at that in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, first up in Language Takeaway today, we have the root of the problem. It's a toothache.
That's right, we have a really bad toothache.
Okay, well, ache means pain or soreness, and tooth is your tooth. So I could say, oh gosh, I have a really bad toothache.
That's right, that means your tooth or your teeth hurt. And basically, you can combine it like a stomach ache or headache.
Backache.
That's
right. So usually when you have a toothache, you experience different symptoms. Different things happen to you. What's one of these things, Marco?
Well, in this case, the girl had a swollen cheek. Her cheek is swollen.
Ouch. So the cheek is the side of the face. It's usually where it's a little bit pink. And when your cheek is swollen, it looks puffy. It looks bigger than normal.
That's right. So, for example, sometimes you fall and you hurt your finger and it'll get fat, it'll get puffy, as you say. It's swollen.
That's right. So anything can be swollen, really. When you hit your toe on something hard and your toe later gets bigger, it's swollen.
That's right. So obviously her cheek is swollen and she has a toothache because apparently her wisdom teeth or her wisdom tooth is coming out.
All right. So wisdom teeth are special teeth. I don't know if they actually have anything to do with wisdom, which means being smart.
To be wise.
But wisdom teeth are those 4 teeth in the very, very, very back of your mouth.
That's right. So these are the last teeth that come in, or the last teeth that grow in your mouth. So I think usually you're 18 or 20 when they come in.
That's right. A lot of people experience these when they're older. Maybe that's why they call them wisdom teeth, because you're older and you're wiser. I had them when I was about 14, 13.
Oh, really?
So I was very young. But these come in the very back. They're the furthest away from your lips.
Okay, very good. So when they come in, sometimes there's not enough space, and so they start to press against the other teeth in your mouth, specifically against your molars.
So molars are other teeth. These are also in the back of your mouth. You can tell which ones are molars, I believe, because they're flat on top. They look like a little square.
Those are the ones that you use to chew your food with, mostly.
Exactly. They're not pointy like your front teeth. And so molars are in the back of your mouth. Wisdom teeth are in the very back of your mouth. And molars can be very sore when the wisdom teeth push against them. And so in this case, you will have to take your teeth out, or the dentist will take your teeth out. But what's something we say when we talk about taking the whole tooth out?
Well, in this case, he's going to extract the tooth, but also he's going to extract the nerve and the root.
Okay, so nerves are parts of our bodies. We can't see them, but they help us feel things. So maybe when someone hits me, the nerves in my arm, they tell my brain that it hurts. Well, we also have nerves in our teeth, and that's what we're talking about here. But what's this other thing? You talked about the nerve and
the root. It's very similar to a plant, for example. You consider that your teeth are like plants, and they have little roots that go into your gums, and this is how basically you get teeth stay alive. They are fed basically by your body.
All right, so root, like with a tree or a plant, is the very bottom of something. And in this case, to extract means to take out or to take away. So the dentist will have to extract the root and the nerve. So that sounds pretty painful.
It's painful, but they have to do it, right?
So when the dentist has to extract the tooth, in this case the nerve and the root and everything, in order for you not to feel it, he gives you special drugs. What are these drugs called?
These are called anesthetics.
Okay, so most people, when they are having major surgery, they get anesthetics so that they can't feel anything. Remember, we were just talking about nerves. Well, anesthetics make it so that you can't feel things through your nerves.
That's right. So obviously you don't want to feel the pain when somebody's pulling that tooth out of your mouth, so you get an anesthetic and then you don't really feel anything. You kind of feel something, but you don't really feel pain.
Exactly. So anesthetic basically makes you numb.
Numb, that's right, that's the word, numb. Okay, so we've taken a look at a lot of vocab, molars, wisdom teeth, etc. Why don't we listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back in a bit with Fluency Builder.
What seems to be the problem?
I have a really bad toothache. My cheek is swollen and I can't eat anything.
Let's have a look. This doesn't look too good. I think we may have to pull out your wisdom tooth. It's pressing against your molars, and that's one of the reasons you're experiencing so much pain.
When you pull my tooth, will you also have to extract the nerve and the root?
First, we will take some x-rays and see what we're dealing with. I also noticed a small cavity up front here, so you are going to need a filling.
I guess that's what I get for not flossing or brushing my teeth 3 times a day.
It could be that, or maybe you are eating too many sweets. In any case, I'll administer an anesthetic and you won't feel a thing.
All right, so the topic of today's lesson is toothache, but it's also basically about learning that you will have to have your tooth taken out. So to say this, we say to pull out a tooth.
Okay, so that's what the dentist said. I think we may have to pull out your wisdom tooth.
Not good news.
Okay, so to pull out means to extract.
So just remember here, this is a phrase that has pull out. Out would be the preposition here. We wouldn't say pull off or pull at. We'd say pull out.
Like, for example, you can pull out a hair or your hair.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're pulling out the wisdom tooth, and the dentist first wants to take some x-rays to see what we're dealing with.
Okay, so to deal with something means to work on it or to have something to do with. And so in this case, the dentist wants to know, is this serious? What are we dealing with here?
That's right.
And so he's trying to judge the situation.
So maybe what would be another scenario or another situation where you would say, I have to see what we're dealing with?
Well, in the case of the weather and the newsmen who report about the weather, maybe they see that a storm is coming, but they have to look at the radars and the computer screens to see what they're dealing with. Is it a serious storm or is it a very weak storm? They have to evaluate.
That's right. Okay. Very good. And so we're going to see what we're dealing with. And then the girl, I think, knows that she hasn't really taken good care of her teeth. And so she says, I guess that's what I get for not flossing or brushing my teeth.
So that's what you get, or that's what I get. Here, the pronoun changes. I, you, he. That's what I get for not taking care of myself. This means it's my fault.
I deserved it.
I deserved this thing. So I could say, Marco, that's what you get for not doing your homework. You got a bad grade on your test.
That's right. So it's basically a way of saying that's what you deserve. That's the consequence for your actions.
Exactly.
Okay. And what about our last phrase?
Well, this is something that I hate to hear from doctors and dentists because usually it's a lie. A dentist will say before he gives you a shot or before he takes your tooth out, you won't feel a thing.
That's right. So he's basically saying you're not going to feel any pain. But why do we say you won't feel a thing instead of you won't feel anything?
It's just a set phrase. It's something we say. I would remember it like this because it's more likely to be said in this way. You won't feel a thing. I think it basically means not even one little thing. You're not going to feel that. So, for example, I'm about to fix someone's back, you know, when you have to pull them and make their back feel better. I say, you won't feel a thing. And you fix their back.
Okay. So you won't feel a thing or you won't feel anything. Both are correct, but I think it's more common to hear you won't feel a thing. Okay, so why don't we go back? Let's take one last look at our dialogue and we'll be back in a bit.
What seems to be the problem?
I have a really bad toothache. My cheek is swollen and I can't eat anything.
Let's have a look. This doesn't look too good. I think we may have to pull out your wisdom tooth. It's pressing against your molars, and that's one of the reasons you're experiencing so much pain.
When you pull my tooth, will you also have to extract the nerve and the root?
First, we will take some x-rays and see what we're dealing with. I also noticed a small cavity up front here, so you are going to need a filling.
I guess that's what I get for not flossing or brushing my teeth 3 times a day.
It could be that, or maybe you are eating too many sweets. In any case, I'll administer an anesthetic and you won't feel a thing.
All right, so talking about dentists and talking about wisdom teeth, you say that you still have all 4 wisdom teeth.
I do. They're all still back there.
So you didn't need to have them taken out or pulled.
No, as my dentist likes to say, I have a big mouth, which in English has 2 meanings. A big mouth is not just a large mouth, but also it means you like to talk a lot.
Right. So, but did you ever have braces, for example, when you were a kid?
Yes.
Oh, you had braces.
I had a retainer, which is a device that you, it looks like a line across your teeth, and you put it in usually at night, but sometimes during the day, and it makes some space in your mouth. But I also had braces after that. I hated braces. I had them for 2 years.
Why did you hate braces?
Because they're uncomfortable. Well, they don't look very good, especially when you're a 13-year-old girl and you want to look cute and you have this big metal thing in your mouth.
That's right.
Did you have braces?
No, I never had braces. Actually, it was kind of, for a while, I think a lot of people thought it was cool to have braces.
I did not grow up where you grew up.
Really?
It was not cool where I grew up.
I don't know. I think, or it gets to a point where in certain parts, I guess my school was filled with kids that had braces. So I guess everyone just had really bad teeth. So obviously the people that didn't have braces kind of were left aside. So you're like, oh, I want braces. I want to be part of the group.
Kind of like sometimes I wish I had glasses, but because everyone I know has glasses.
Really?
But, yeah.
If you have good vision, though.
Yeah, it sucks to be perfect, right?
Well, this is a really interesting topic, and going to the dentist is always complicated. Maybe some of our listeners are dentists themselves, or they have some stories that they can share with us.
Please let us know what you're thinking and share your dentist stories with us on EnglishPod.com. We'll be waiting for you there.
All right, we'll see you guys then.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Increase in size with liquid or internal pressure. Swollen. 1 of 4 rearmost molars on each side of both jaws. Wisdom tooth. Have the experience of, undergo, feel. To experience. That is what one deserves for. That is what one gets for. To clean with a brush. To brush. To give or apply as a remedy or relief. To administer.
Let's try that faster.
Increase in size with liquid or internal pressure. Swollen. That is what one deserves for. That is what one gets for. 1 of 4 rearmost molars on each side of both jaws. Wisdom tooth. To give or apply as a remedy or relief. To administer. To clean with a brush. To brush. Have the experience of, undergo, feel. To experience.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Swollen. I got a mosquito bite on my arm, and now it's swollen. Swollen. Tim's leg is swollen from the infection. Swollen. Someone punched him yesterday, so his lip is slightly swollen. Wisdom tooth. I need to go to the dentist to get my wisdom teeth removed. Wisdom tooth. My wisdom tooth is really annoying me. I keep on biting the inside of my cheek. Wisdom tooth. She couldn't eat for a few days after the dentist pulled her wisdom teeth. To experience. I have been experiencing really bad headaches lately. To experience. Your chair is broken. That must be the reason why you have been experiencing so much discomfort. To experience. To experience love is a wonderful thing. To experience. I'm falling asleep at my desk. I guess that's what I get for staying up to watch the World Cup. To experience. I just bought this purse yesterday, and it's already broken. That's what you get for buying something so cheap. To experience. I failed my math exam. That's what I get for goofing off the entire semester. It is important to brush your teeth at least 2 times a day. She is sitting in front of the mirror, brushing her hair. He brushed the breadcrumbs off the table. To administer. The doctor administered some painkillers to me after my operation. To administer. The governor administers the law in this area. To administer. It is important for the government to administer justice.